The United States and Israel's war on Iran has entered day 16, with rising civilian casualties, continued missile attacks, and growing global concern over the economic and humanitarian impact of the conflict. Here is what has happened in the past 24 hours. First, the human toll is rising sharply. Iran's health ministry says US-Israeli strikes have now killed at least 202 children and 223 women, including 3 pregnant mothers, since the war began. In neighbouring Lebanon, the health ministry says Israeli attacks have killed at least 850 people, wounded more than 2,100, and forced over 830,000 people to flee their homes. On the other hand, Israel's health ministry says 108 people were wounded in the past 24 hours as Iran launched new attacks, while both sides accuse each other of escalating the conflict. Iran's military has also made a new allegation about the drone war spreading across the region. Officials from the Khatam al-Anbiya headquarters claim the US and Israel are using a replica of Iran's Shahd drone, known as the Lucas drone, to carry out attacks and blame them on Iranian forces. The claim has not been independently verified. Meanwhile, diplomacy still appears far away. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says Tehran has not asked for a ceasefire and is not seeking negotiations with Washington, insisting Iran will continue defending itself.
Well, first of all, it's too soon, for him to make any comment. We are all waiting for his speeches and comments, which should come later on. But I don't think the question of talking with Americans or negotiation with Americans once again would be on the table, because we have a very bitter experience of talking with Americans after 3 rounds of negotiation, and after the American team in the negotiation said itself that we made a big progress, still they decided to attack us. So I don't think talking with Americans anymore would be, on our agenda anymore. Well, actually, this is a war imposed on us, and what we are doing is only defending ourselves. We are facing an act of aggression which is absolutely illegal, and what we are doing is the act of self-defense, which is legal and legitimate.
In Washington, the timeline of the war remains uncertain. U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright says the conflict could end within a few weeks, while the White House says Pentagon estimates suggest the war could last 4 to 6 weeks.
Which is more likely. Everyone knows that the issue with the Strait of Hormuz, of course, meticulous planning went into what might happen with the Strait of Hormuz, how to deal with that. Our chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Kane, is known for many things, but high on that list is an absolute meticulous planner of all of the scenarios that might unfold. Yeah, I think that this conflict will certainly come to the end in the next few weeks. Could be sooner than that, but the conflict will come to the end in the next few weeks, and we'll see a rebound in supplies and a pushing down of prices after that. But yes, we were very aware that we would have short-term disruption. We would cause a little bit of increased prices on Americans. Prices today are still far below what they were in the Biden administration, where they were begging, bartering, and bribing Iran to behave better. We had $5 gasoline in the middle of the Biden administration. We hope we don't get there this time, but at least this increase in gasoline prices is for something that's going to change the geopolitical situation in the world forever. All nations of the world depend on products that come from the Straits of Hormuz. China top on that list, Japan, Korea, all the Asian nations is where the energy that comes out of the Straits of Hormuz flows to. So those are the nations that most immediately impacted by this. So of course, it's quite logical to have a broad coalition of the nations of the world work to reopen the straits. But first and foremost right now is to finish to destroy Iran's ability to project military force in the region and around the world.
The economic cost is also climbing. The White House now says the United States has spent about $12 billion on the war since launching strikes with Israel on February 28th, raising concerns in Washington about the financial impact of the conflict. At sea, tensions remain focused on the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway that carries about 1/5 of global oil supplies. US President Donald Trump has urged allies to send warships to help secure the strait alongside US forces and warned that further strikes could target Karg Island, Iran's key oil export hub. But so far, there have been no immediate commitments from other countries to join such a naval coalition, even as oil prices remain volatile due to the disruption, and the conflict is also affecting life far beyond the battlefield. In a separate development, Zahra Ganbari, captain of Iran's women's football team, has withdrawn her asylum bid in Australia and is returning to Iran after the team's Asian Cup appearance sparked international attention. So as the war enters its third week, the conflict is continuing on multiple fronts, from Iran and Israel to Lebanon, global energy markets, and political debates in Washington, with no clear path yet toward a ceasefire.